Shalom, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This is Akim Wasap. Today's lesson is entitled, They Shall Judge the Nations and Have Dominion over the People. And Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel of the Most High, and to use the gospel of priest. Shalom and shalom to the brother GMS Virgin Island Straight Gate. Shalom, bro. All right, so as always, our focal point is prophecies. Going into the said perils, prophesying the end of this Edomite rulership. We give warning in regards to the new financial system, the implantable technology that they'll be soon pushing out. We speak about famine, pestilence, chaos, and the love of many waxing cold. But another part of this everlasting gospel, this testimony of Yahushua, this good news is that the elect, all right, will judge the nations and have dominion over the people, starting with our Lord Yahushua. And that's one of the benefits that we're going to receive. Lord willing, we endure to the end. All right, all the nations that have came up against us, they're going to be destroyed and brought low. And we're going to be exalted, all right? And that's what Esau, Edom fears, because there's a great penalty for all the wickedness that Esau has done, all right? Now, Lord Yahushua is going to come and destroy all the kingdoms of the earth. So the title of this lesson comes from a precept here in Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, verse 8. It says, They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. And this goes into the kingdom of heaven, which is rulership of the Israelites in earth. Or it's only going to be the Israelites ruling. And we're going to have those new bodies that Apostle Paul spoke of in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. And we're going to be perfect. We're going to be the tabernacle of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Right? It says, and they that put their trust in him, which is the elect, the remnant, the Israel, the Most High, are the ones that's programmed from the foundation of the earth, because it's all about predestination, to trust in him. And how do you trust in the Lord? By believing the things that's written in the scripts. It says, shall understand the truth. All right, there's going to be a special gift of faith. There's going to be given to the elect knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The Lord is going to open them up to understand the truth. All right, and this isn't for everybody. It says, and such as be faithful in love. All right, faithful. Another word for faithful is consistent. If you're faithful, you're consistent, you're diligent, you're always abounding in the work, always abounding in the faith. All right, because we make this truth a part of our daily life. This is not something that we do on the weekends. This is not something that we just, all right, do in our spare time. Or we actually get all into this word. Or we actually walk in the light of the Lord. It says, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. All right, and we're abiding in his truth. We're walking with the Lord. It says, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. So it's always about the elect, the remnant, the Israel of the Lord, the 1/3. Are these messages is for the elect, because these are the characteristics of the elect. Our Lord Yahushua said a tree may be known by its fruit. So what fruit is growing on the trees of the elect? Well, they'll trust in him. They'll understand the truth. They'll be faithful in love. They'll abide with him. They're going to endure to the end. All right, and grace and mercy is to his saints. So they'll be eligible for grace and mercy. In the beginning of this grace and mercy is receiving the truth, man. I mean, ultimately, is being delivered from Babylon the Great. That's the ultimate grace and mercy. But leading up to the deliverance is the understanding of this truth, the receiving of this everlasting gospel. All right, when you read in James, the 1st chapter, the 21st verse, it says, receive the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. And you got to receive it from somebody, because we have men, we have elders, and we have apostles, we have a leadership that the Lord was dealing with to feed us with knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Verse 10, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and have forsaken the Lord. So these are the 2/3. they're going to get destroyed. They're going to get judged. Why? Because they neglected the righteous. They forsook the truth. All right. And when they forsake the truth, they're actually forsaking the Lord Yahushua. All right. They're actually forsaking the Lord Yahushua, because we come and we speak according to the word. Like it's saying in 2 Esdras 15, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So the Lord is channeling the spirit of truth through us to preach and teach this doctrine in righteousness and sincerity, and rightly dividing the word and truth. So if you neglect the righteous, or you neglect the words of the words that's coming out of the prophets, right, you're actually forsaking the Lord, because the Lord isn't coming down himself to do no talking. He did it over 2,000 years ago. Verse 11, it says, for whoso despises wisdom and nurture is something that builds you up. If you hate this wisdom and you hate this building, all right, he is miserable. Why? Because you have no comforter. You have no comforter. You have no understanding of what's going on in these times, man. We're living in perilous times. Apostle Paul prophesied about in the last days that there shall be perilous times. You're going to be miserable, because when all hell, chaos, pandemonium, and peril is going on, there's going to be a cry for wine in the street. Meaning these people is going to have questions. They're going to want to know why, and they're not going to get their answers, because there's going to be a famine of the word, Amos 8 and 11. So these people is going to be miserable. Isaiah 65, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. My servant shall rejoice, and ye shall howl for sorrow of heart and vexation of spirit. So these people that's outside of the truth, those that despise the wisdom, they're going to be miserable. Okay. And their hope is in vain. Everything that they trust in is going to be vain, because they're going to go down to Egypt for help. But as it is written, woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help. Their hope is going to be vain. They're going to be trusting in this power structure, the political, the police, the law enforcement, the emergency, the hospital, so on and so forth, and it's all going to backfire on them. Their labors are unfruitful. Everything that they put their energy into, everything they trying to build up, everything they sowing, is not going to yield forth its increase, because we're in a time of the Lord having his word taken off and prospering, and all the prophecies being fulfilled. Because Esau, if the Lord is putting the cold spirit on Esau to change up the financial system, and it's finna get very vexing. This transfer from this dollars and coins to the digital system, ultimately to the implantable technology, you're gonna be like a rat running in that hamster. You're gonna be like a hamster running in that hamster wheel. You're just gonna be running in circles until you just die out. All right, and their works unprofitable. See, the only thing that's profitable for you is this truth. Let's get something real quick. All right, let's get Revelation 14. Because if you're not laboring in truth and sincerity, you're not in this truth, nothing is going to prosper for you. Let's see. Let's see. Revelation 14 and 10 is saying, I start at 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, this beast is the power structure. You got NATO, the EU, and with America being a part of it, collectively make up this empire ruled by the Edomites, or the scarlet-colored beast. His image, because this system, it mirrors the ancient Roman Empire, from the architect to Latin being the language to democracy to the laws, and just that whole Roman culture. You got the eagles on the coins. And while Rome was going down, you had inflation, you had immigration, you had the teachings of Yahushua in the Roman Empire that was causing all kind of persecution on those who followed after the teachings. All right, this kingdom image is an image of the Roman Empire. All right, it says, and he received his mark in his forehead or in his hand. It's talking about this implantable technology, and I have little something here. Let's see. See if it loads up. MC Hip and employees, a rising trend in the work of future, and they present it as a question mark. All right, and that's deception. They already know what time it is. All right, so it's already talks about the rising trend, meaning people was getting down with it. And you had a couple of years ago a company in Wisconsin called Three Square Market that MC hipped all their employees, and they was in the break room buying cups of noodles and chocolate bars and things of that sort. So you see the folly that's behind this, man. You know what I mean? Ultimately, Esau Edom, what he wants to do is he wants to be like the Most High. He want to know the thoughts and intents of the heart of everybody on the earth. All right, he has a God complex, but the Lord is going to destroy him. So let's keep reading here in Revelation 14. We in the 10th verse now. It says these same people, men, women, that take this implantable technology in them, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation. So it's very potent. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And this is how we know that we're at the end, because the end is synonymous with Esau pushing out this implantable technology. And then the Lord, Yahushua, is coming to destroy those who have this technology in them. That's how we know we're at the end. It says, in the smoke and the torment, it descended up forever and ever for a long period of time. It says, and they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image. So these people who worship this system by taking this implantable technology within them, they're not going to have rest. Just like with these phones, every time you turn around, there's some new update. All right, there's some update that you got to do. It's some upgrade that you need to have it. Sometimes when you pull out your phone and you go ahead and do the Apple Pay, the shit don't work. You go to a grocery store and then all the systems are down right now. Come back in about 2 hours and then you can come and purchase what you need to purchase. So it's just going to be, these people's going to be tossed to and fro. If you connected to the grid and you still trying to have a life here in this society, as it says here, they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image. You're going to be bugged the fuck out. And then when you read in Revelation, the 16th chapter, which this lesson is going into something else, but it's all through the Spirit. You read in Revelation 16, in one it says, I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out your vows upon them. Go out and pour the vows of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. Now, Revelation 16 hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be happening soon. All right, and it's going into the destruction. And the first went out and poured out his vow upon the earth, and there was a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast upon them which worship the image. So let's go into this grievous sore, and our elders and apostles constantly go into this, and we constantly go into it as well. So when you go into this word sore, it's a wound. Well, let's look at it. It's helkos. It says a wound, especially producing a discharge or a pus. And Apostle Tahar, he goes into how this goes into a cancer. Cancer. Let's see. Cancer definition. Something that's producing a discharge or a pus, a sore or ulcer. If it's producing a pus and it's just constantly coming out, it can turn into a cancer. All right. Cancer. A disease caused by uncontrolled division or abnormal cells in the body. Right. Uncontrolled. All right. So you got pus and discharge coming out of it. And this what makes you unclean. Okay. In the law. See, now, we going into the law. The law speaks about if you have anything coming out of you, you're a discharge, you're unclean. Let's see. This is Leviticus 15:1. Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, or the sons of Israel. When you look up this word children, it goes back to the Hebrew word banyah, which means sons, and saying to them, when a man have a running issue out of his flesh or discharge, because of this, he is unclean. You're constantly unclean. You get this technology in you. All right. Going back to the prophecy, there's going to be a grievous sword that's going to fall on these people who take this implantable technology. All right. And that sword is going to be producing pus and discharge and all these different things. And then when you have this running issue out of your flesh, you're unclean. Leviticus 15:3, and this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with the issue or his flesh be stopped from the issue, it is uncleanness. So these people that get this technology in them, they're going to be having all types of diseases and discharge and pus and all kind of nasty shit going on. Let's read this in another translation. New King James Version, and this shall be his uncleanness in regard to his discharge. Whether his body runs with his discharge or his body is stopped up with his discharge, it is unclean. All right. And that shit is just disgusting. All right. Once again, Revelation 16:2, it says, in the first one, I'll pour out his vial. These vials represents the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the implantable technology, other beasts, and upon them which worship the image. All right, so these people's going to be asked out. They're not going to have no rest, right? But going back to the point, us being in the truth, and pushing out the work through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem outside, this is going to be beneficial for us. All these other people that's outside the truth, that despise the wisdom and nurture, is going to be miserable, and their hope in vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. But we being called into this ministry and we standing stiffly for the names of the Lord is going to work out for us. So this is the best thing for us to do is put the energy into the truth. So back here in Revelation 14:11, I want to hit this point. It says, in the smoke of their torment it ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever received the charagma of his name. So as I was mentioning, people who take this technology in them, man, they're going to be having all kind of diseases and ailments and uncleanness, and they just going to be bugged the hell out. It says, here's the patience of the saints, the elect. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High in the faith of Yahushua. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto them, write, blessed are the dead which died in the Lord from henceforth. Because you have brothers that have, served in the ministry, and they had their, they passed away, but, it's a blessing for them because they died in the faith. Yeah, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. So this is what's profitable. The work that you put in for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because it follows you. Anything that you do in this world is not going to follow you. Everything that Kobe Bryant did, it's not following him to the kingdom of heaven. All these actors, entertainers, and these people who have built the name in the society, everything that they've done is not going to profit them, but following after the Lord, it does. That's why when you read about Solomon, he said all is vanity and vexation of spirit. And Solomon, he was very rich. He had great substance. He had 1,000 women. He had gold, silver. He built the temple of the Lord. He did all these great things. All right. And he came to the conclusion that this is the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Lord and keep his commandments, because by doing so, your works follow you. Solomon, he didn't take the gold and silver and all that stuff in the heavens. So this is profitable. So all those who aren't laboring the work, as it says here in Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, the 11th verse, and whoso despises wisdom and nurture is miserable, and their hope is in vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable, their wives foolish, their children wicked. And you keep reading, you know what I mean? So it's beneficial for you to be in the truth. It's beneficial to present your body as a living sacrifice, which is acceptable unto the Heavenly Father. All right, because there's a reward for it, and part of that reward, going back to the title, they shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people. And that lined up with what Yahushua said, which if you could receive it, Solomon was Yahushua. All right. Revelation 2, that's what I wanted. Revelation 2. 25. It's Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Whatever measurement of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Lord has blessed you with, you hold that fast. Why? Because knowledge and wisdom is going to be your stability and strength of salvation during these times of peril. You want to hold that fast. Because while everybody is trying to figure out why is there no food in the grocery store, why is the government structure coming down with great wrath, right? Why is the love of many waxing cold? Well, those who are privy to this information, they have the understanding of the truth, like it said here in Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, in the 9th verse. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. They're going to be comforted by the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. They're going to say things like, well, it is written in the scripts that in the last days there shall be famines and pestilences. Well, it did say that the love of many is going to wax cold. It did say that Esau is going to take peace from the earth. You know, you're going to be comforted by the words of wisdom that you have accumulated over time, which is what the Lord allowed you to receive. You know, meanwhile, everybody else is asking questions. Let's get this in Isaiah 24. I'm at the first verse, and then I'm going to go down to the point. Behold, Isaiah 24:1. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste. He turned it upside down and scattered abroad the inhabitants thereof. The Lord is finna turn shit up. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priests, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with his mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. So everybody is going to get pressured. Everybody is going to get in these uncomfortable situations. That's why I say in Revelation 13, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the MRK. So everybody is going to be suffering when the Lord maketh the earth empty. When he bring the judgment, when he bring the pressure, when he put the spirit on Esau to push this agenda. The land shall be utterly empty, utterly spoiled, for Yahweh hath spoken his word. And these are the prophecies. Now I'm going to hit the point, because as all hell breaking loose, people is going to want answers to their questions. Isaiah 24:10, the city of confusion is broken down. It's Babylon the Great. Every house is shut up that no man may come in, because people is going to be in their houses. It's going to be lockdowns, shutdowns, curfews, law. There's going to be all these, perilous conditions upon the world, and people is going to be in their houses. It's not going to be how it is now, where people just leisurely out and about, walking, jogging at the parks, driving up and down the street, going to grocery stores, doing a regular, everyday thing. That's going to change up. There's a cry for wine in the streets. People's going to want answers to their questions. They're going to be a cry for wine. Wine is synonymous with information. All right, our Lord Yahushua said, new wine can't enter into old bottles, at least they burst. What he was saying was the information that he was coming with can't enter into old Israelites that is set in their ways. New wine got to enter into new bottles. When you come into the truth, you got to be born again. You got to be a new creature. You got to be a little child. You got to become a little one. All right. So there's a cry for wine. There's going to be a cry for information in the streets. Hey, what's going on? Have you heard about, this and that? Why is the electrical grid down? Have you been able to call 911? What's going on? What's going on with the government? Then, like we read about it in Wisdom of Solomon, not Wisdom of Solomon, but 2nd Esdras 15, these people's going to be running down out in the streets, frantic. Let's see. 2nd Esdras 15:14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Like we read in Isaiah 24, all these people's going to be affected when the Lord shake terribly the earth. Once again, 2nd Esdras 15:14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another in swords in their hands. People won't have weapons. That's why they're trying to take your weapons away and your ammunition. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. People is going to be running in the houses. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions in the course of their actions shall stand in their power, because these people is going to take matters into their own hands. They're going to see how the government betrayed them, and they're not going to regard kings or your presidents, your governors, your mayors, your politicians, police agencies, sheriffs. They're not going to give a damn about all that because they're going to feel betrayed. You already have this whole woke agenda on how the government is doing this and doing that. You know, people, it's going to be a cold spirit. That's why our Lord Yahushua said in Matthew the 24th chapter that the love of many is going to wax cold. They're going to feel betrayed. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because they're going to be checked down, shut downs, and lockdowns. But because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So back in Isaiah 24 and 10, it says the city of confusion is broken down. And that's what we was reading in 2 Esdras 15. The Lord is going to break this system up. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There is a cry for wine in the street. All joy is dark, and the mirth of the land is gone. And the city is left desolation, and the gate smitten with destruction. So the Lord is finna tear this shit up. But we have the Comforter, which is the Spirit of truth, which the world cannot receive. We have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that will be our stability during these times. All right, Isaiah 33 and 6. But this is Revelation 2 and 26. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, overcometh meaning endure. You know, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So what Yahushua got received from the Lord Yahweh, he's gonna, you know, spread it with those that have this testimony and they held it fast and they endured unto the end. So I'm going to leave it at that. Lord willing, you are edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone and taught us his truth. Shalom.